I'm walking with
Cheryl and Rochelle.
And we are walking in this beautiful park. The name of this park is?
Victory
Park. Let's walk right over here, ladies. Do the people of Stockton use this park a lot?
Yes, we do. Every morning. Oh, I'm half asleep. I'm sorry.
Well, that's why you're out walking, to wake up.
Right.
So you all are regulars out here.
Yes, we are.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful park.
Yes, I like it because the dogs are leashed. We have a leash law. I'm afraid of dogs, so.
I wouldn't think you'd be afraid of much of anything.
Yes, I am afraid of dogs, even little ones.
All right, now we're here not to walk through the park. We're here to go to this place right over here, which is?
The Haggin Museum.
Now, is that a nice museum?
Very nice. It's been here for years. Yeah, I went here as a child.
Really?
I haven't gone there for about 20 years, but it's nice.
We're getting ready to go in right now.
Very nice museum.
We're going that way and you're going that way.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Have
a wonderful day.
Thank you.
Friendly people here in Stockton, and there's where we're going right there. This wonderful museum, which is very much the pride and joy of the good citizens of Stockton. We're inside the Haggin Museum, and I've got to tell you, I'm absolutely blown away by what I see here. At first glance, Todd, what I think has struck me is that I thought this was a history museum. It looks like a world-class art museum here.
Well, it is, and that's probably the reaction that most first-time visitors have. They expect a history museum. They are pleasantly surprised with the caliber of the art collection that we have here as well.
Well, it is a history museum, but the art that you have here, you have some very famous artists, some very important art here.
Very much so. We have a collection that is comprised approximately 1/3 American artists, 2/3 European artists, principally French. We have Bouguereau, Renoir, Béraud, Rosa Bonheur.
What an amazing collection. And we're not standing here by chance. This is one of your most famous paintings by one of your most famous artists in the collection.
We are probably best known throughout the museum community for our wonderful collection of works by Albert Bierstadt, a second-generation Hudson River School painter. And he, along with a number of other artists, helped to popularize Yosemite. And here we see one of our best paintings by Bierstadt looking up the Yosemite Valley, a painting that Ronald Reagan was taken with, and he asked to have it in the White House during his first 4-year administration.
So this hung in the White House?
Hung in the White House.
And it also had another use, too.
It has figured in a number of Hollywood productions. It was in the movie Dave and Clear and Present Danger as part of set dressing, not the actual painting, but the image in a frame. And it's kind of fun. My wife and I would go to these movies, and I would watch, and the only thing I became excited about was when our painting showed up.
From art to agriculture, and boy, this is exciting because I had no idea that Stockton had such a role to play in the development of machinery like the machinery we're standing in front of right now.
This entire gallery, known as the Holt Hall, contains some of the many contributions that Stockton made to California agriculture, from the combine harvester during the Great California Grain Trade to, of course, the birthplace of the Caterpillar tractor.
See, I don't think anybody, well, maybe people in Stockton do, but that the Caterpillar tractor was invented and produced here in Stockton, California.
Benjamin Holt, who had been in the area since the 1880s, actually owned farmland out on Roberts Island. And the islands have very soft, spongy soil. The big machinery of the day had a tendency to sink down. So Benjamin Holt came up with the track type principle, which gave a much larger surface bearing area, and the rest is history.
How old is this piece right here? Is this an original, one of the early ones?
It's an early one. It dates to around 1918, right around World War I. But they began, their first Caterpillar tractor was tested on Thanksgiving Day, 1904.
Wow. And this holds a record. You said this is one of the few combines that's still on display.
Up until just about a year ago, it was the second oldest combine harvester in the United States, because the oldest was a Stockton-built combine harvester on display at the Smithsonian. That's no longer on display, so by default, we now have the oldest combine harvester on display. This dates from 1904.
And when you look at the old pictures, it really sinks in as to the importance that these inventions and this man and this company right here in Stockton, how important this was to the economy, not only of the country, but specifically of the San Joaquin Valley and California.
Oh, exactly. And his company, along with a number of others that were working in Stockton, really helped to put this city on the map. In the 1870s, the 1880s, Stockton was the second most industrialized city in all of California, second only to San Francisco.
Really? Because of agriculture?
Because of agriculture.
Before we left the museum, Wes brought me in here. Actually, we dragged Todd in here because you wanted to show us an exhibit that he wasn't going to show us.
We had to come and see the mummy. My dad as a kid, myself as a kid, and kids every day come to the museum on tours, and they all want to see the mummy.
This is the staple of the museum, right?
Would that it weren't, but yes, this is probably the best known element for Stocktonians of the Haggin Museum.
Which has nothing to do with Stockton history or California history at all.
Very few Egyptologists have been excavating here in Stockton.
How did the mummy come to be in this museum?
This mummy is on loan from the Fine Arts Museums of San Francisco. It's been here since 1944.
So kids since then?
Kids since 1944 have been coming here, and it's that mixture of fascination and dread that make them come up close to it. As you can see, we've got a lot of grease spots on the glass.
Well, sure, the kids want to look in and see the mummy.
They want to touch it. And it has become part of Stockton history only because it's been here for so long.
Well, no great museum is truly great without at least one mummy.
One mummy. That's all we have. That's all we need. But yes, it's one of those double-edged swords. I love to get people into the museum, and if the mummy brings them in, that's great, and then we can expose them to both our art and history treasures.
So come see the mummy.
Come see the mummy first, and stay for the art and history.